Hello there my crafty friends, it's Terry from Vig's Creates back with another card making video for you. Today I'm going to be playing with this Peony Bouquet stamp set from Altenew and using some Altenew inks. I've had this stamp set for a little while and I haven't used it yet, so I'm really excited to have a play. So I've got some smooth bright white Bristol cardstock, and I'm just going to get that set up on my stamping platform, and I'm going to go for the approach of stamping a few of the same flowers at the same time in order to sort of maximise the amount that I can do. With these layering stamp sets, there's a few different ways that you can approach it. The outline is optional, so you can use that or you don't have to. And each way, it just gives a slightly different effect. And then basically, so the outline, if you use it, is obviously going to be your darkest colour or black. And then with this one, so with the large flower, there's the outline and then 3 layers. So that'll be the lightest, that'll be the next a bit darker, that'll be a bit darker, and then the outline will either be the darkest or black. So I'm going to start with this one. So I'm just going to stamp 2 of these and then also a few of the leaves, and then I'm going to fussy cut them out and then build up a card that way. So obviously, because this is brand new and I haven't used it before, it's going to need a little bit of preparation. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know that I always prepare my new stamps by running my finger, a clean finger, over them. This just removes any of the residue left from the manufacturing process. And then again, this recent purchase of mine, the Altenew little cube dies, are so great because they come in light, medium, dark and extra dark. So I'm going to be using rose quartz for the lightest. Quite as even as I would like, but again, I think with these ones they sort of even out, the colour evens out as it dries, but I'm just going to double stamp it anyway, just to give it the best possible chance. But whenever doing that, you just need to make sure that your card's in the exact same position. Okay. And then I'm going to turn my card around so that I can get another stamp, another flower positioned in the same place. I think this colour looks perfect for a peony as well. We've actually got a huge peony in our garden, and it comes back every year, and it's magnificent, and it's just this colour. It's so gorgeous. I really, really love peonies. And I'm trying to make sure that I use products that I've bought recently or bought a while ago and haven't had a chance to use yet, because I've been finding so many bargains recently and buying so many things. That's led to me having quite a few things and not having had a chance to use them. So the videos that you can expect to see coming up from me soon are going to be ones where I'm testing out or trying out things that I haven't used before. But then the next one, so I'll turn this round because obviously this has had the longest time to dry. The next darkest one is this one. So let's have a look. There isn't a layering guide with this one. I think this must be an older one Yeah, 2015, because the newer ones come with layering guides as to how you should position them, and also different ideas of things to do, but the older ones don't, so there's a bit of, I wouldn't say guesswork, but a bit of sort of trying to figure out exactly how and where you should place it, really. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so again, prime the stamp with my finger. And next we'll be using Puffy Heart. So the first colour was Rose Quartz, in case I didn't say that. And the next one is Puffy Heart. Oh, that looks pretty. And I think I've stamped it in the correct place. Yeah. Do I double stamp or do I not? I will double stamp it. But I won't put loads on. Oh, that looks gorgeous. You can see how beautiful it looks straight away. I do love Altenew products. I love photopolymer stamps. I just think that they stamp so well. You know, like they really do give the best results. I mean, you can get decent results with acrylic stamps, but whenever, you know, like I'm looking to buy something, if it's photopolymer, I'm always much happier, because I do find it's easier to get better results in, and it just feels much better quality as well. I'm loving these Altenew inks, and you know, I'm already a fan of the pens. So I have one set of Altenew artist markers, and I really like them. So the last one is this one, which just gives a little bit more darkness to those shadowy places. So again, I've just got to make sure I line this up properly. So using the pack for guidance. So sorry if my head got in the way there. I think that's about right. And I love the way that when the colours dry, the coverage that you get, and the way that the colours just soften so beautifully when they dry. I am such a fan of this brand, I really am. Alright, so this one is Purple Wine. So this is going to be the deepest shadows in the sort of inner parts of the petals and the flower. And it's so nice with these Altenew inks because you know that the colours are all going to coordinate beautifully. Look at that, that looks stunning. Because I've double stamped all the other ones, I am going to double stamp this as well. But I think in the future I don't think I need to be honest, because once it's dry, it smooths out. And with this one, I don't think it's lined up perfectly. I think I could have lined it up slightly better, but I don't think that's had any detrimental effect on it, to be honest. And I know from watching people like Jennifer Maguire, who do a lot of sort of layering, stamping and things, who say like it doesn't matter if it's slightly off because it'll still look good, you'll still get a good result. And that's true in my experience too. I think that looks beautiful. And I'm debating whether to use the outline, whether to use the black outline or not, because I think that looks so pretty. And it depends, it's like if I'm what I'm doing, because I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with the background yet. So I've kind of got the feeling that I don't want to use the outline stamp. Yeah, so that's where I'm up to at the moment. So I'm just going to get set up with the leaves and then I'll be back in a mo. So there are 3 different leaf clusters that I've chosen to use. So I've chosen to stamp them all at the same time, as I figured that would be a good time saving thing to do. I'm going to use frayed leaf and forest glade. I think there's just so there's 3 layers with this one, and with these 2 there's just 2 layers. So with this one there's going to be frayed leaf, forest glades and evergreen, and with these 2 they'll just be the 2 paler ones. There's also another flower, and on the packaging they've got the peony in purple and the other flower in yellow, and I've got a yellow set, so I think that'll be really nice actually to do the other flower in yellow, so I'll do that as well. But I think what I'm going to do is to use some sort of frame. I quite like the idea of a frame with the leaves and the foliage and the flowers poking out, and then a nice sentiment, so a very sort of classy looking, really sort of pretty elegant card. That's the kind of thing I'm going to go for. This is the next one, which will be the second colour. Oh no, I found this one. This one has has 3 layers as well. It's only the smaller one that doesn't. It just has an outline. So this is the Forest Glades colour. So that was the final layer for this one, which I've obviously offset a bit, which I quite like the effect of actually. Looks sort of artsy, but I don't know whether I'll end up using that one now, seeing as though I did make it a bit wonky, but never mind. So now it's just these 2 that have got the 3rd layers. And this is going to be in the colour Evergreen. Yeah, that looks really pretty. So now I'm going to use another piece of card and stamp the small yellow flower, which is this one, which has how many layers? 1, 2, 3 layers. Okay, so if I were to use the outline, that comes with a lighter shade and a darker shade, and then 3 shades for the flower, but I could just use these and not use the outline, so I think I'll follow that same pattern, seeing as though I haven't gone for the outline with the larger flower. So for the base of the flower, I'm going to use frayed leaf on the lightest part and forest glades on the darker part, and then this smaller flower I'm going to do yellow in citrus burst, fresh lemon and maple yellow. So basically I'm just leaving out the darkest colour in each set. Yeah, really pleased with that. And so I think I will just go in once I've positioned the darkest area. I'll go in with the most appropriate colour and just fill in that little bits of where it hasn't covered. Oh, and in fact that one looks pretty perfect. So I'm just going to show you how to fix that, which actually, I mean, you don't really even need to do it, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I think with the maple yellow has just gone right up to the edge there. So all we're going to do is just get a very fine paintbrush and just go in there, making sure that's in shot for you. I'm just literally swiping it onto the ink pad. It's a clean paintbrush, and going into those little areas. And that looks great. So there we go. So we've got 2 peonies, 4 leaves and 2 flowers, and then 2 other leaves, which I think I'm only going to use one of them, if at all, if either of them, because one didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So I'm going to fussy cut these and assemble some more supplies, and then I'll be back in a short while. So I've made a bit more progress now. I have fussy cut all of the stamped flowers and leaves, which didn't take too long at all actually. But if I had have been able to get the coordinating dies, I probably would have bought them. But because this card doesn't require too much fussy cutting, it's fine. And if I just hold that up to the camera, you can see how detailed and beautiful it is. I'm really impressed, to be honest, with this stamp set. I've then used a layering ovals, a nesting ovals die set to cut myself a frame. So the plan is to have a frame and then clusters of flowers and foliage around the frame. I did plan it out and then I've moved it on, but yeah, so it's going to be sort of something like this, you know, with the frame and then the foliage in the corner. And I have cut 3 frames and then glued them together to give added dimension. And then I've drawn around the outside of the frame with a pencil, because I want there to be some interest in the background. So I've got a few new die sets recently from Crafter's Companion, and they're actually layering die sets, but you can use them individually. And I really liked this swirly background panel. So what I'm going to do is place this over my area that I want to be covered in swirls. I'm going to use some low tack tape to adhere that down, and then I'm going to use a blending brush and apply some Caribbean sky in a very light hand over the area. So I just want it to be quite a pale blue, which I think will contrast nicely with the other colours chosen. And then I'm going to mount that onto a card panel. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put it straight onto a white card blank, or whether I might use some patterned paper, or whether I might use, I'm not quite sure yet. It sort of evolves. If you've watched my previous videos, you know that I sort of get a general idea and then it sort of just evolves, but it'll be fine. So this is a clean brush. So we won't load it up too much, and then we'll see. Get an idea of. See, now I'm wondering whether that is actually too dark. The other colour I was thinking of was the lightest colour in the blue set that I've got is Arctic, and I thought that might be too pale, but actually now I'm thinking that it might be better. Yeah, I think I do prefer the Arctic. I thought it was a bit too much of a grey blue, but no, I think I prefer that. Okay, so using a blending brush as opposed to a sponge dauber, or a sponge blending tool, I should be able to get a lighter effect, which is sort of what I want really. I just want something subtle to give some added interest, but not to detract from the flowers, which I want to be the focal point. and I haven't quite decided what occasion I'm going to turn this card into yet, because again, it's very versatile. It could be a birthday card or a sympathy card or a wedding card. It's really quite versatile. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Right, so this is always the fun part, the reveal of what it's going to look like. Okay, so low-tack tape is doing that thing where it just peels all your paper off. I don't know why it happens. Like, I do it in the same way every time, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So if anyone has found the perfect low-tack tape out there, please let me know, because it is really irritating when that happens. Oh, that looks pretty. Nice and subtle. Yeah, I'm very happy with that. What I'm going to do is just leave that to dry for a short while, and then go ahead and cut round the pencil mark that I can still see. So the pencil mark will just be to mount the frame onto. I'll be back in a short while once I've done that. So I've pretty much decided on my composition now. I'm going to make it into a hello card, and I love the effect that I've got from using that Arctic Altenew colour on the background with the swirly pattern. But I didn't want the frame to be white on white, so I was looking through my inks, and I've decided to use this Distress ink in Dried Marigold. Just quite a subtle colour, really, like a sort of peachy browny kind of colour. So like a pale sort of frame, a pale wooden frame. So it's going to be quite subtle and not have too much impact. And then the hello, I'm going to cut 3 of those out, die cut them out, layer them up for some dimension. Right, okay, so that's done. So I just need to cut out the hello 3 times, stick them together, stick this all together. So I shall be back in a moment with the finished card. And here we go, my friends, the finished card. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of dimension. So the frame was laid up 3 times, the hello sentiment was laid up 3 times. I glued the second L onto the frame and then used thin strips of foam tape to adhere the other letters, to ensure everything's at the same height. And I've basically, this one is stuck to the back panel, but most of this is mounted up on foam pads, and obviously this second peony is higher than the first one, so lots of dimension going on. I really like this swirly pattern in the background, and I just think we need to add a few little accents just to finish it off, but just something very subtle. So I've chosen some Cloud 9 Dream Drops, which are like a white but iridescent, and they dry really beautifully. So I'm going to put a few here and there on the inside. They're kind of like little pearls, really. Yeah, they dry like sort of iridescent pearls, which I don't have any of them. Otherwise I probably would use some pearls. We've got 3 there. I have 1 here. There we go. And that's finished now. Oh, I also added some Nouveau Aqua Shimmer pen to the hello and to the centres of the peonies. So you can see how they're shimmery, the centre of the peonies and the hello. I also coloured the hello in a sort of ombre effect. So I used the rose quartz, the palest colour from the peony on the top, and then puffy heart on the bottom, and sort of blended them. So there we go, there's the finished card. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's always lovely to hear from you and to interact with you. And yeah, that's it from me today. So see and speak to you soon. Bye.